Greetings and salutations, everyone, and thank you for returning to the Common Sense Crypto channel. Here we have Rich making yet another video about XRP today. Wherever you are in this vast, amazing world, I hope today is going swimmingly for you. Let's talk XRP. But first things first, anytime I bring up BRICS, the immediate implementation of RippleNet and XRP is possible. Doubters never change their tune. Why would China want to work with a company or use technology that is based in the US? You may have forgotten, but Ripple went global. They have grown into a really global enterprise, with tracks in every country for XRP to operate on, and constantly adding more rails to their network. They aim to seize the RMB, which was established as a reserve currency during China's currency globalization, from its current holders. Worldwide, which originates with Mr. Ripple was the sole fintech platform selected for these EHD experiments, he continued, since XRP definitely fixes this. As well as being involved in the China real estate project Victoria Plus, keep in mind that BRICS Pay is based on Project Ambridge, which in turn is based on RippleNet technology and the use of XRP. You can see how everything is coming together inside BRICS, especially in China and the other nations involved. Since they do not trust one another, it is prudent to establish a trust layer between them so that they can still use their own currencies. For example, they might convert their currency into XRP if Russia were to send money to India or China. On the flip side, RippleNet and XRP, the currencies of the other countries, serve the BRICS needs. This is why I believe that the BRICS decision to forego SWIFT in favor of RippleNet and XRP is the right one. Japan is at the forefront of the Ripple Bitcoin XRP RLUSD. The SBI Group's joint venture with Ripple allows them to invest in and offer a range of services. Chain data shows that out of the top 5 economies in the Asia-Pacific region for crypto adoption, Japan is in the forefront, with a 120% increase in on-chain value received year over year. Their utilization of RippleNet and XRP is the reason for it. One of the initial users of XRP was SBI. XRP has been certified as Sharia compliant for Islamic finance markets by Bahrain's central bank. More in Islamic regions, Ripple's appeal for cross-border payments is enhanced by expanding the certification. Additionally, XRP's rapid institutional adoption is fueled by its ethical congruence with Islamic teachings. Consistent rail infrastructure is being established globally. Everything is falling into place at the moment. It appears like the system is nearly finished, and what we originally estimated would take a decade is being built out in the past couple of years. 2 new local stablecoins have been listed by Coinbase, AUD, and SGD. These coins are available on XRP Ledger, Stellar, and Hedera, XSGD, and AUD. As you may be aware, these stablecoins have connections to other networks. Adoption is beginning to occur for them. Like I indicated before, RLUSD will be a huge gateway for XRP. It not only brings in Ripple, but also XRP itself. There is a lot of buzz regarding XRP yield in some of the existing services. And as consumers learn that XRP makes RLUSD payments faster and cheaper, they will definitely use it. Yields on XRP have been observed to be 8 to 10%. In exchange for an insurance policy, all of them give up 3 to 5% of that yield. Safeguarding my XRP with a reputable insurance provider, such as Lloyd's of London, for the time being, I'll wait on my hands and protect my XRP. This is why you should not pursue such a big yield. The guaranteed 50% return in 45 days was made by Charles Ponzi in 1920. Classic Ponzi scheme burned through 10 to 12 months of constantly fraudulent investments before collapsing $65.0 billion in financial losses internet domain, anticipated returns on bubbles 20 and above crisis in subprime mortgages that occurred in the year 2000. An enormous mispricing of risk of 8 to 15% on a AAA, rated 2008 market crash digital loan, large anchor failures between 12 and 20% Celsius scams involving private financing that cost billions. Frequently, hard money lending scams account for 15 to 20%. On these XRP yield options, you'll see yields of 10, 15, and even 25 whenever you see them offered. You are well aware that you will eventually lose your XRP. Just 3 to 5% is a good range, as I've mentioned in earlier videos. I feel like everyone on X is gushing about how they just got their yield, but I think a lot of people are exaggerating the situation. Just received my refunds. Substantial profits. I will hold off on putting my XRP up for passive income until there are risk-free alternatives. Those people are paid to have you lock it up and lose it. You are familiar with the XRP community, according to Brad Garlinghouse. They always make a grand entrance, no matter where you are. Very impressive XRP Soul Crew. At their debut event, Brad Garlinghouse performed, and everyone here at Ripple is eagerly anticipating the next one. In the XRP community, you are well-versed. We sound like a band. As a family, we are bound together by a shared goal. You no longer require vision for XRP as long as you keep onto the common asset. We all saw its potential a long time ago. Everything is fitting together right now. That Blackrock XRP TF is going to drop at some point. According to Nate Garassi, my chat with BlackRock is about BlackRock, Randy Michnick. Additionally, you should immediately listen to what he has to say here. He is aware that an NDA is in effect. That will be obvious to you from the very beginning. Pay attention. I have a question for you regarding product development. You are under no need to respond to the first part of it, and I don't really expect you to respond to the second part. However, if you are putting that into practice, okay, I'll admit it. I have made a public prediction. So far, you haven't commented on the fact that BlackRock would apply for a spot XRP ETF and a spot Solana ETF. However, I am curious as to how BlackRock plans to build future products centered around crypto-related ETFs. IBIT and Ethan are two examples of your tremendous success stories. That, of course, demands your full focus. However, what about the future? In the end, our customers are the most important consideration. However, there are many other elements that go into making that decision. How high is the demand from investors? Please explain the reasoning and investment theory for our clients and investors in relation to these possible goods. For what issue are we providing a solution? As a result, we are always assessing new opportunities in this space based on metrics like market cap, liquidity, maturity, investment thesis clarity, and the overall product and portfolio considerations that clients will have in the future when they use these products to create the diversified exposures they desire. That's the type of procedure we use in the end. However, it's not something that happens at a specific moment. Pay attention to all of the things he said. The XRP is already addressed in that, as an example, they will implement an XRP. There would not have been nearly as many filings if demand hadn't been present, so fuck it. Franklin Templeton was another one. Just imagine if they hadn't been aware of the need for spot XRP ETFs, something that all of these firms, including BlackRock, are well aware of. I can tell you from personal experience that they absolutely despise discussing Ripple or XRP. Robbie Mitchell's deployment to BlackRock from Ripple remains a mystery to me. The fact that you'll never hear Brad Garlinghouse bring up BlackRock makes me suspect that Ripple brought him there. Jerry Fink's voice is completely silent. He completely lacks knowledge when it comes to Ripple and XRP. The XRP price has the potential to hit $5 to $7 if XRP ETFs are successful, which suggests a much larger issue is underway. Approval is required in 3 weeks, when the final timer starts ticking. I predict that XRP will reach new heights. In other words, I anticipate that individuals will position themselves before the ETFs are approved, and I also anticipate that there may be a sell the news event involved. So, it's possible that we'll see a small decline at the outset, but then a rapid recovery thanks to the influx of funds. However, Everyone who is speculating on the potential value of XRP based on the ETFs is wrong. The majority of those forecasts are going to be completely incorrect, in my opinion. Reason being, I believe the demand is far larger than anticipated, and many people are underestimating it. So when it all comes to a head, they will be astonished. Ethereum price forecast BlackRock and Ripple Inc. $700 million off-ramp agreement, XRP of $1,000, is within the realm of possibility. The tokenized fund holders of BlackRock and Van XUV Bill are all the rage right now, can trade in real USD and ETH via Securitize, and soon real USD and XRP will be available on the ledger. Last week we discussed that news. Now, some are claiming that this might propel XRP to $1,000. In my opinion, we won't see much progress from this at the moment. It seems like this is going to require some patience on your part. In order to forecast the potential growth in XRP price, should this materialize, I feel like that's a little excessive to say $1,000 at this point. It's just too early. In my opinion, this might provide XRP with a brief 40% boost in the beginning of 2030, and then we'll have to see what happens next. It is still too early for this to have any real traction, though. Now that we've seen what happens, everyone is making predictions and speculations. The co-founder of AlgoPair claims that XRP will startle millions of people. Right now. They're bringing up the NDAs once more. These NDAs are in the news all the time. In the next months, we will all learn the identities of these NDAs. It usually takes a long time and usually involves a lot of effort. There are a lot of major things going on behind the scenes, and we have no idea when these NDAs will expire. It may be 2030 or 2035. In my opinion, they are still trying to keep the price of XRP low, for the simple reason that a large number of individuals are now purchasing XRP via various means, including Coinbase and over-the-counter transactions. Some folks are simply purchasing whilst others are selling their organizations. Are planning to purchase XRP from you when you sell it soon. For that reason, you should not make a hasty decision to sell your XRP. Keeping it for a longer period of time simply implies that you will earn more money. Despite how early it is, everything is fitting together beautifully. And crypto's early stages are probably, in other words, I predict that crypto will become widely used within the next 2 years. I believe it will be the topic of conversation for everyone. Almost everyone will be utilizing it without realizing it. Since a lot is also happening in the financial sector, I believe the new system will be implemented shortly. What I mean is that it appears like everything is moving at a breakneck pace, and everyone is in a rush these days, which is great if you're looking to make a quick buck, but terrible if you're hoping to actually do anything. No one should jump headfirst into artificial intelligence, AI, or a new financial system, FS, without careful consideration. There are a lot of potential pitfalls, but we're at the point where we don't care since we'll be rich by the end of it all. Okay, I'm going to end this video by saying thanks for watching and encouraging everyone to be patient and optimistic so that we can all become rich. Thank you so much, everyone. In the next one, I'll see you. Enjoy your evening. This was transcribed using turboscribe.ai. Remove this message by subscribing to Unlimited.